Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood and her mother heard that Grandma was ill. "You must go to see her," said her mother, "and take her this basket of food." But a wolf was also waiting for them. He quietly crept out behind a tree next to the spot where Red Riding Hood was picking flowers, and then stepped out beside her. "Good day to you, little girl," she said, in a voice so soft and friendly that Red Riding Hood stopped being alarmed. "Where are you going with your basket and flowers on this fine day?" Little Red Riding Hood told him all about sick Grandma in the cottage on the far side of the wood. "I should go and visit her as well," said the wolf. "Let's see which of us gets first there." Away he ran, and it wasn't long before he was knocking on the door of the Grandma's house. "Who is it?" the old lady called out in a weak voice. "It's me, Grandma," the wolf replied in a small voice, pretending to be Little Red Riding Hood. "Then just lift the latch and come in, dear," said Grandma. No sooner was that big, bad wolf inside the cottage than he gobbled up the old lady. Then he searched about until he found a bonnet and shawl to put on. "That should do nicely," he said, looking in a mirror to himself. After the wolf had admired his disguise, he went over to the big bed and hopped in. Comfortably settled, he dragged the sheet right up to his black nose, pulled the old lady's cap down over his wicked eyes, and waited for the Little Red Riding Hood. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood ran as fast as she could. At last there was her grandma's cottage, but perhaps she was very late to reach there. Old Wolf was already there waiting for her. Well, he heard her gentle knock. The big bad wolf called, "Lift the latch and come in, dear." Little Red Riding Hood was smiling as she pushed open the door. "Here I am, Grandma," she cried. "Wait until you see what lovely things Mom has sent and all the pretty flowers that I picked for you." Little Red Riding Hood was surprised to see how untidy the cottage was. "Grandma must be too poorly to tidy up," she said to herself. It looked as if Grandma was asleep, so Little Red Riding Hood put down her basket and took out the eggs, honey, and the homemade bread before finding a pretty vase for the flowers. At last she said quietly, "Grandma, are you awake?" "Of course I am, dear," a croaky voice answered from the big bed. "Then let me show you what Mom has sent," said the Little Red Riding Hood. "There's honey and fresh eggs and homemade bread, and I picked some flowers for you," and she began to tiptoe towards the bed. "Come closer," whispered the wicked wolf. "Come closer and give your old granny a hug." "But Grandma, what big arms you have!" she exclaimed. "All the better to hug you with, my dear," said the wolf. "And Grandma, what big ears you have got!" cried the Little Red Riding Hood, staring. "All better to hear you with." "And Grandma, how big teeth you have!" "All the better to eat you with," growled the big bad wolf. With that, the wolf sprang out of the grandma's bed, and Little Red Riding Hood ran for the door of the cottage to try to escape. The hungry wolf chased after Little Red Riding Hood, but before he could catch her, she ran away. The old lady's nightcap slipped down over his eyes, and the wolf tripped and fell flat on his nose. Quick as flash, Little Red Riding Hood ran to an open window before he could get up. "Help! Help!" she cried at the top of her voice. There was a young woodcutter working nearby. He knew all about the wicked wolf, so he always kept a sharp lookout. He heard Little Red Riding Hood cries for help and ran to the cottage. It was all over so quickly that Little Red Riding Hood could scarcely believe it. The big bad wolf lay dead, killed by a single blow of brave cutter's axe. "Don't cry, Little Red Riding Hood," the woodcutter said kindly. "You are safe now from this wicked bad wolf. He is over." Grandma sobbed Little Red Riding Hood. "But he has eaten Grandma," sobbed Little Red Riding Hood. Just then out of the dead wolf stepped her grandma. The greedy wolf had swallowed her whole, so she was quite all right. So now, as the woodcutter took the Little Red Riding Hood home, she told him how she had met the wolf. "He was a crafty old wolf, that one," said the woodcutter. "Now promise me you won't go through these woods on your own again." "I promise," said the Little Red Riding Hood. "And also thank you for saving me," she smiled. The end. Please like and subscribe my channel for more and nice videos.